It was very satisfying. It was totally illegal and totally defensible.
I mean, it's not called Pass Away Peacefully. This is
Right.
Die Hard.
Die Hard, yeah.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Doug Defends, the show where a real lawyer talks about fake things. I am Billy Business, and this looks like present day Bruce Willis.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you could, like, do a whole gimmick of, you know,
Yeah.
like the impersonators in Vegas.
I'm Bruce Willis. Except I'm not. I'm Doug Ridley.
You are
I'm
Doug
the
Ridley,
lawyer on the show.
attorney at
but,
law.
But Gabby captured the essence of us and of Hans and John McClane, like, absolutely perfectly.
I think it's a beautiful shirt, which is now available in our T Public store. Pennies after pennies, baby. So today we are talking about Die Hard.
The quintessential Christmas movie.
Okay. Now, well, let's just get this out of the way now. For a long time,
Yes.
I would judge whether or not I would even continue talking to someone. If they brought up this debate, I'd be like, if we're engaging in this debate, I just don't even want to know you. I think this is as old and dumb as Han Shot First. I'm just like, if this is where you are mentally,
Right.
I don't want to know you.
Right.
But
But
I'm going to guess
Yes.
if we put Doug Defends Die Hard
Right.
in the title, at least some people are going to expect, maybe they're misled, that this show is about we are defending whether or not it's a Christmas movie.
Right.
So to not be accused of being clickbait, let's
Yes.
get it out of the way.
yeah, I mean, I think we can just agree that it is, and that's it.
No, I think this is not a Christmas movie. And I will tell you why.
Okay, I want to hear why.
For a Christmas movie to be a Christmas movie, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, for a Christmas movie to be a Christmas movie, Christmas, the customs of Christmas, preferably Santa Claus, anything in or around Christmas must be integral to the plot of the movie. Now, if you take Die Hard, it is a movie about a man who's going to see his wife. They're having a Christmas party at the building. Robbers take over, and he basically, it's, you know, he's got to get out.
Yeah.
If you changed that to a St. Patrick's Day party, minus maybe 2 lines of dialogue, that movie structurally does not change. The story is exactly the same. Christmas is incredibly inconsequential. Also, you know who else probably agrees with me? Was 20th Century Fox. Because they released this movie in July because they weren't counting on people to go see their new Bruce Willis Christmas movie. It was a shoot 'em up summer blockbuster action movie.
Ooh.
So,
You're proud of that point.
oh yes.
Yeah.
Therefore, the studio doesn't think it's a Christmas movie. I don't think it's a Christmas movie. You shouldn't think it's a Christmas movie because it's not.
Oh, wow. That is a good starting point for
you.
our conversation.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of you.
Yeah.
That Cal State Fullerton education really
It's
paid off.
really paying off, right?
So here's the challenge.
Yeah.
20th Century Fox, purchased by Disney.
Sure.
Disney Plus, the streaming service where you can watch Die Hard,
Sure.
has it featured under holiday favorites. So number one, your 20th Century Fox argument, gone. Christmas magic, just gone. So there's that. Then I would say that you would not have the same emotional quality of the movie of him trying to get back home to see his family for Christmas.
Objection. That's anecdotal. It could be for his daughter's birthday. It doesn't matter why.
Well,
he's
now
coming
you're
back
switching
home.
it up. If it's his daughter's birthday, so he's coming back home for his daughter's birthday, then that does have some emotional weight, but not the same type of emotional weight. Now, there are very, very few movies that take place on Christmas Eve. This movie takes place on Christmas Eve. The entire soundtrack of the movie is all holiday, the music and everything in the background. You've got the present that's in the car. Now, granted, you could remove the bow off the bear that's in the backseat of the limo. It could just be the daughter's birthday present bear.
Right.
True. Absolutely true. But then you've got the fact that this is a massive holiday party set at Christmas that also helps it be a Christmas movie. You started with... Now, if we're only talking about the plot of the movie, if the plot of the movie could be set in another time period, right? Or just another month.
Yes.
Another month.
Yes.
Then that, in your mind, makes it not a Christmas movie anymore.
No, well, you're saying anymore, which implies that I think it is a Christmas movie currently.
No.
I'm saying it doesn't matter what the party is for. It's inconsequential.
Gotcha. So, Guardians of the Galaxy has a holiday special.
Sure.
Right? It is the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
Yes.
The plot of the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special is Peter is sad because Christmas was ruined for him by Yondu when he was growing up.
Yes.
And then Mantis and Drax decide to go kidnap Kevin Bacon.
As a gift.
Yes. As a Christmas gift.
Yes.
And they decorate all of nowhere in Christmas lights.
Sure.
And there's Christmas songs that are being sung.
Yes.
But that movie could have just been about his birthday, using your logic. And Yondu could have just messed up his birthday and said, "You're weak because of your birthday," and whatever. Yondu, messing up his birthday. They could have been sad because Peter doesn't celebrate his birthday anymore. And instead of the Christmas decorations, it could have just been, them stealing Kevin Bacon for a birthday present. So therefore, using Billy logic, the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special doesn't count as a Christmas movie.
No.
Which is why your underlying premise is flawed.
No, there's a lot of what ifs there. Yeah, to quote our friend Bill Handel, if my grandmother had different plumbing, she'd be my grandfather. But she didn't. So here's the thing. If you want to use the Guardians holiday special... There's still the element of Christmas is still integral to the plot. The reason that they get held up is because he's going after these Christmas decorations. We're watching two characters.
But it could have been birthday decorations.
No, it could have been, but it's not. But here's the difference. That's still integral to the plot. You can't take those elements out because the fish out of water element of Mantis and Drax is figuring out. And in fact, we get a whole song about a planet of people who don't know what Christmas is.
Right.
Everyone on that planet knows what a birthday is. But nobody knows what Christmas is.
But they could have been singing about birthdays.
But I'm telling you, they could have.
But they didn't.
But they're not because the whole point of that special is them learning what makes Christmas special.
And so they could have had Die Hard at New Year's Eve or at St. Patrick's Day.
No, you are conflating.
They could have.
No, but tell me, does John McClane going barefoot, saving the day, stopping the robbers, what part of that has to do? What part of his journey has to do with Christmas?
Oh, that part of it? Zero.
Then exactly. What part of the holiday special is Drax or mostly Mantis learning about what the real meaning of Christmas is and what truly gift giving is and what the whole reason for Christmas is, which is the thesis statement is literally pointed out at the beginning of the special with that song, which is, we don't know what Christmas is, but Christmas time is here.
Right.
That's
agreed.
Yeah. So if you agree, then you're telling me that if you take Christmas out of the Guardians holiday special, there's no character arc for Mantis.
There could be because they're learning about birthdays.
No, they know what birthdays are.
And in the same way that they set up Die Hard as he's coming home for Christmas and they set it up immediately, and he's trying to get back to his family safe and alive for Christmas.
Christmas itself has nothing to do with his character
He's walking
arc.
through broken glass to try to get back to Holly so that he can get her home for Christmas. So I think we are at an impasse. The good news is I still think that you're mostly smart and a really nice guy, and I love you, and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you. There are so many awesome legal issues with Die Hard.
Die Hard was released in 1988. In the summer of 1988, mind you.
We only spent the first 10 minutes of the episode
to be precise,
talking about
July 22nd, about as far away from Christmas as you can get. And yeah,
5
Disney
months
puts it in the holiday
to Christmas.
thing. I'm sure Disney never makes any mistakes ever. So this was starring Bruce Willis and the amazing Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman.
But the real hero of this movie, as you know, Reginald Val Johnson. Come on now.
Because he is, I mean, and you said this in another episode,
Yeah.
he kind of is he's the quintessential police officer.
He is the quintessential cop.
Yeah.
In my headcanon, after the events of Die Hard, he had to, for security and safety, had to change his name to Carl Winslow, and he's living out the rest of his life in Chicago.
Eating Twinkies.
With Urkel. So, yeah, look, Die Hard was one of those things where it was such a phenomenon that I think part of the reason why I like Die Hard, I'm not like, it's the greatest ever, because I think I grew up in a generation where I had seen so many movies influenced,
Yeah,
like for me,
yeah.
it was Speed, right?
Right.
Which is Die Hard on a bus.
Right.
And
and the fact that that's even a phrase, right?
Right,
Die Hard on a bus.
blank,
And so many other action movies have been, let's do Die Hard in a hotel. Let's do Die Hard on a train. Let's do Die Hard. So, I mean, it has become the touchstone for so many action movie plots.
Yeah, and I think that's what keeps it fresh. Sometimes you forget because you're just like, I'm so used to the references that going back to the original kind of feels quaint in a way.
Yeah.
But when you watch this like in a vacuum, I think, it still holds up. When did you see it when it first came out?
I'm pretty sure I saw it. I think I saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
I don't have a clear memory of that, but I'm pretty sure I did. But have seen it all the way through. Saw the sequels and definitely saw the sequels in the theater. So it's and it's just great. I mean, so many of those tropes. I mean, I don't remember a movie before that with somebody crawling through the vents.
Right.
I mean, something as simple as that has been such a major plot point. And then you've got the heist element of the movie too, which makes it super fun and cool. Although seen from the other side of it, but there are so many elements of the, late 80s technology break-in, through the impenetrable vault that is super cool too.
I think this is also an important shift because this is where we're going to start to see kind of, at least for a while, the end of the dominance of like Stallone and Schwarzenegger, the big hard body muscle guy.
Yeah.
And, it doesn't seem novel to us now, but at the time, having Bruce Willis, who, not to say he's not in shape, but he wasn't Schwarzenegger. He wasn't huge.
Exactly.
He was just someone that you're like, if I stopped eating Twinkies with Urkel and went to the gym and got off the couch, I could maybe look like that someday.
Yeah.
And I think we saw that carry on a little bit more of the everyman hero, even so much as I feel like in some ways it kind of inspired like the casting of Michael Keaton as Batman, where now the hard body it's literally a suit and it's the everyman that becomes the hero. So I think tracing it back to Die Hard is probably where we kind of culturally accepted, like, it's kind of fun to see a hero who's maybe relatable.
Well, and so beat up and not untouchable, you know. I mean, the fact that by the end of the movie, he's bleeding out of his feet, his previously clean white tank top is, filthy and full of blood and great. I mean, we just see him just get absolutely worked over in this movie, and I think that's exactly what you're talking about. I mean, that was new.
So obviously groundbreaking movie, but we are a legal show.
Yes.
As I've pointed out in the few episodes, we're not a culinary show.
No.
Not a geography show.
No, definitely not a geography show.
We are a legal show.
Yes.
So let's get into a little bit about some of the legal issues with this movie, because on its face, it does seem a little bit cut and dry. This is maybe just like, it's cops and robbers.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
like at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But there's some nuances. Let's talk about.
You're just a thief. I'm an exceptional thief.
Yeah, I mean, we're made to think that this is some bigger terrorist political thing. It's like, no, just a thief.
Yeah, just a thief.
Which is kind of refreshing at the end of the day.
But I love his over the top.
I mean, Alan Rickman, rest in peace, is just, which is funny because I didn't see this until I was probably in my late teens, early 20s. Like it was a blind spot. So I was like, oh, it's the Galaxy Quest guy, it's Snape, But let's talk about, okay, so we've already kind of given him the briefest plot overview, but we do know that he's coming from New York to LA
for Christmas.
So his wife is now working in LA. He's
at a Christmas party.
He's an NYPD officer. He's an NYPD officer. He's coming into LA. So talk to me a little bit first about you are so smug and proud of yourself. I just want to smack the shit out of your face right now.
No. Getting you mad is one of my favorite parts about doing this show with you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So tell me a little bit about what? I'm sorry. I'm listening.
Okay. So he's an NYPD officer, but he's in this situation where he is an officer, but jurisdiction. Is there any way that like extraordinary circumstances like the one he's in where like you can kind of circumvent jurisdiction, be like, yeah, I know I'm not an LAPD officer, but come on,
Well, I found that part of it interesting in light of kind of where we are today. I have friends that are detectives, that are police officers, and the whole process of flying with a firearm, post 9/11, we don't see that anymore. Police officers can carry their firearms, but they have to be secured. They're not just going to be, on a holster.
Right.
And to answer your question about jurisdiction, it really kind of depends on what he's trying to do. One of the very first interactions that he has with one of the thieves, terrorists, whatever, he says, I'm police. That's probably breaking some rules. If he's a New York City cop and he's in LA and he's, saying freeze, you're under arrest, he doesn't have the ability to do that. Now, that wouldn't mean that the arrest is unlawful. That wouldn't mean that the case was thrown out or anything like that. It would mean that he probably has some explaining to do from a boss,
But let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I don't know if this would even go to trial, but in some sort of debriefing of the situation, I mean, again, that's why I say, like, is there a point where, like, just common sense would kick in? It's like, you're under arrest. Oh, you didn't have the authority. It's like, well, someone had to do something.
Exactly.
And I am, like, if you were prosecuting or a lawyer or something, would that be probably enough to just be like, come on, guys?
Yeah, it's definitely a come on, guys defense. Like we've talked about with a few things. But think about it for a second. If let's say that that I decided to place somebody under arrest,
right?
I better damn well be right. Because
Sure.
otherwise it's false imprisonment and brandishing a firearm and all of those things. But if at the end of the day, somebody broke in and started stabbing you and I pulled out a firearm and said, freeze, you're under arrest, and put handcuffs on him, that case isn't going to get thrown out. You're no less injured. He's no less a criminal. It just means that there wasn't a police officer here. So I wouldn't get in trouble for detaining him necessarily. But like I said at the start of all that, I better damn well be right. Because if not, I mean, I've had people who have been arrested for holding someone at gunpoint, and the police and the prosecutor didn't agree that he was in the right.
Yeah.
So it better be really, really clear that you're in the right if you're going to play cop.
Well, we're talking about this scenario. We keep saying if he arrests him,
Right.
you're under arrest.
Right.
But then we get into this point where like he's shooting to kill, at a certain point.
Yeah.
And at that point, now let's take the same argument, but now we've kind of escalated it, because it's like, have we now moved into vigilantism where, I guess you can meet force with force, right?
Yeah, force with force. And especially the first handful that he kills, it's definitely they're shooting at him, he shoots back, and it's a pretty clear self-defense scenario as we go through. Now, at some point, it just shifts, and these are just the bad guys, and so we don't even think anymore, is he wrong for, dropping Hans off the building, or wrong for, for any of the deaths of the bad guys. But also, he's trying to stop the bad guys from killing all the other people. He saw Hans kill
that annoying guy, right?
well, yes, but I'm not worried about him at all. So we know that John sees them kill Takagi, and so he knows firsthand that they are killing people, and they're going to continue killing people. So his defense of others really works to give him some immunity for all of that, not as a police officer, but just as a citizen who is protecting other people.
So you mentioned kind of like the pre 9/11, kind of, but I mean, one interesting thing too is like, can you bring a gun from like New York to California? I feel like crossing state lines with these firearms also is kind of a little, I mean, he is a police officer, but still.
Especially because he's a police officer, that is going to be allowed. There are people that travel with firearms, rifles, and things like that in checked baggage, disclosed in advance.
Right.
TSA looks at it, makes sure that it's not operable, and it's got to be checked in baggage and all of those things. You certainly, even for a police officer, you wouldn't see it on a hip. But no issue with John bringing his any firearm from New York to Los Angeles. That's not even an issue.
So kind of the fun thing about Die Hard is, in a lot of ways, it feels like a video game, like Donkey Kong, because you're going like level by level, trying to get to that final boss, In a normal circumstance, if he was just there, nothing, the party was happening, nothing else was going on, but he just wanted to go to all those places. He's going in a lot of restricted places.
Right.
Trespassing.
It probably would be. Remove the terrorists from the scenario just for a second. If he was bored and mad at his wife for for having this new job, and didn't want to hang out at the Christmas party, then I'm sorry, I was just making sure you weren't going to actually hit me that time. But if he was just bored and decided to break away from the party and started traipsing through the office and going into Takagi's, model room, his
sweet room,
his awesome office or whatever, and certainly if he started, going in between floors and into elevator shafts and onto the floor where all of the construction was being done and all that. Yeah, I mean, he's trespassing in a place where he's not supposed to be. It would surprise me if a party guest who was going where they shouldn't go gets, arrested for trespassing. But they had security down on the bottom floor, so I would expect a call to security, and then they would,
please don't do that.
Yeah, please don't do that, or get out. And then if he doesn't leave, then he's trespassing, and then there's legal action.
Okay, so trespassing that's just a misdemeanor, right?
Yeah.
But I guess this is an interesting question because we just talked about if he's bored, but he's not. There's a clear event happening.
Mm-hmm.
So at what point is it like it's not trespassing anymore? Now I'm just trying to be, well, I don't even know if safe is the right word.
Yeah,
He's strategic to
strategic. Yeah, I mean, some of it is, so I don't see any legal problems with anything that he does as far as going to other places in his strategy to try to figure out what's going on, figure out the plot, figure out, what's happening, where these people are, all of those things, and his wandering throughout the building, not going to be any issue at all.
All right, so let's talk about there's a lot of violence in this movie. Did you know that?
There's a lot of violence. Well, it's definitely rated R. And as much as we just think of it as a cool action movie, I remember the first time I showed it to my son, probably a little younger than he was supposed to. It was like, wow, there's a lot of F-bombs in this movie. There's brains being splattered up against poor Takagi's brains just splattered all over the wall. There's a lot of there's a lot of bare chests in this movie, between the office rendezvous and the posters on the wall from the workers and things like that. But,
I mean, it's not called Pass Away Peacefully. This is Die Hard.
Die Hard, yeah.
So, let's talk about some of those hard deaths right now. From what you saw, okay, again, just as a general rule of thumb, a lot of times we say, imagine that the film that we just watched is available for everyone in the jury and the prosecutors to watch. It's CCTV. Were there any that you were like, I don't know if that one would be justified,
as we get closer to the end, it's if we had taken it out of context, I think there's less immediacy in the self-defense aspect of things, right? Mm-hmm. Some of the earlier shots that we see in the movie are actually just straight out, someone's firing a gun at him, he's firing a gun back, and that's that.
Sure.
As the drama increases, as the environment increases, as the danger increases, as he knows everyone who's in the building with longer flowy hair or a thick German accent is going to kill him, then more and more and more we get the idea that the environment behind it justifies a lot of his actions. But I don't know that there was one specific that
felt gratuitous.
That made me. Well, I mean,
gratuitous is the wrong word. That felt like
illegal.
This is coming from a place where he's now just more like a revenge killing, or I'm pissed off killing, more than like I'm trying to get out of here with my life. You
know? And certainly. The last one to fall, the blonde guy at the very, very, very end. There's definitely some animosity between the two of them.
Sure, yeah.
So between him killing the brother and by the end he's just they're at each other almost feral, But we also can understand why at that point, because it's been a fight to the death over and over and over again.
I mean, the one thing that kind of stuck out to me, it's like there were a couple of deaths. I'm like, yeah, I mean, you got to get out of there, or he's in your way. The one that I was like, I don't know, that could have gone really, really wrong was the dropping the C4 down the,
Yeah.
I feel like after all that, it'd be like, what was your plan on that one,
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things that I think from a police procedural standpoint, he would have been asked about.
They don't teach that? They don't teach throwing explosives down elevators?
Generally not. Okay. I mean, that could have gone horribly, horribly wrong for everyone in the entire building. I mean, that could have taken down the entire building.
Yeah, I think... There's a lot of reckless endangerment within this. I mean, the explosives one, it's like, well, you easily could have killed someone you didn't intend to.
Right. Or, I mean, it could have hit a gas line and taken down the entire building.
That'd be a a very weird way to end that movie,
Yeah,
right? Like after all that, they're like, oh,
The end.
they all died hard. But the other one that I was just like, okay, for the plot of the movie, that's the thing. It's like we as the viewers get a lot of we get all the context, right? Because we're following him. But if I'm just someone watching from the street, a guy just throwing a dead body out the window that could easily hurt someone.
Yeah.
And it's just gross, you know?
Right. I mean, it's super gross. I was thinking about our poor guy and how, I mean, he definitely panics, and it's understandable why he panics. And I was also questioning why is John still firing machine gun at him? Like, I think the body was enough.
They get it.
Yeah,
you know,
just fire like, you know, maybe one clip. You know, I mean, he's it's clear, like, he's going to call for help now. There's a dead body on the hood of his car. It's blown out his windshield. There's some bullets that have gone. He's already made the call out, and he's still shooting at him. And he's just in reverse until he just, you know, goes off the edge.
That's what I was saying. It's like, at what point do you look at what McClane's doing? It's like, yes, self-defense and all this other stuff, but you were kind of having fun. Come on. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I think we've talked about this before, you know, is there a, like, I saved the day, I'm the hero, so therefore all of my transgressions are forgiven aspect of things, right? Because at its core, we're so glad that he saved the day. We're so glad that he prevented all those deaths. If I'm, you know, Takagi's supervisors or, you know, the owners of the company, whatever, I'm going to be a little upset about the $640 million in bearer bonds that are just floating like Christmas confetti down the thing, you know. But yeah, that kind of hurt a little bit to see all this.
In this economy, you're like, oh my God, no. It's like, I care more about that than any human body I've seen desecrated for the last 2 hours.
But
not the bonds, no.
But yeah, and I love, this is total tangent, but I love when a movie gives us a reflection, just briefly, of gas prices.
Oh, yes.
You know, because it was like 74 cents.
Oh, it hurts.
And 79 cents.
It hurts.
And this
real
wasn't
bad.
that long ago.
No.
I mean, you know, it's a while ago, but I mean, it wasn't like, you know, 50 years ago. It wasn't God.
Yeah,
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was just about to say, I think 88 is a little further away than.
Oh, it's almost 40 years.
Almost 40 years.
Holy.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, anyway. Back to the law. Gas prices. It's also. I mean, in the late '80s, when LA's skies were orange from how bad the smog was all the time.
I do like Doug Defends Society in the '80s. That's a good show. In my day.
Back in my day.
All right, so let's talk about Hans.
Yes.
I may have asked you this on an old episode. I can't remember, so we'll just have the conversation.
Yeah.
We know, or we find out, that he's just a thief. We begin this thinking that he's more kind of like a terrorist, but what is the definition legally of, like, what takes me from just being a thief to being a terrorist?
So it really comes in the name. And this is one of those few times where actually the legal principle behind it is what we would generally assume as members of the public, which doesn't always happen. You know, sometimes it's a lot more complicated. Like a battery, you know, is not really obvious by its name what it is. For terrorism, it is a severe, violent criminal act that is designed to create fear or coerce or induce some sort of change. So that's really what makes it cross the line into terrorism. If we had somebody kidnapped and it was being held for ransom, that is kidnapping for ransom. that's not necessarily terrorism. What Hans does, even though it's a ruse, when he sends out his list of demands to the FBI and says, I want these political prisoners, that would make it cross the line into terrorism. So he would, even though it was a ruse, be considered a terrorist, even though it was purely designed just to slow down the FBI and keep them busy while he got into the vault and stole the bearer bonds.
So he's got that plus kidnapping.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, does it even matter to certain, like, if you kidnap someone, felony. I don't think there's any two ways around it.
Right, exactly.
But if you kidnap 120 people,
right,
is it any worse than kidnapping
for sure.
one?
No, for sure. And then that could be used as the argument for why it would cross the line into trying to coerce or trying to create fear. He certainly is creating fear from the immediate victims, but the idea that they are in charge, when he says we are in control, a lot of those elements would be elements that would be used to prove terrorism versus just a simple kidnapping. Removing his demands just for a second, the idea that there are, 30 or I don't know, 100, however many people there were up there. I think what we would see there is criminal charges for kidnapping for multiple people, so they would stack them all up. You would also see conspiracy charges because of the multiple people that were involved, with the whole heist. And then on top of that, all of the use of firearms ends up being huge allegations that increase punishments. So, you're looking at life sentences for using firearms, and the ones that actually pulled triggers getting even more serious sentences. So life in prison for all of the bad guys. And this one, assuming that they didn't die hard.
Let's assume for just a second that this movie was called Apprehended Hard. And Hans was apprehended at the end, right? So, but everything else stayed the same.
Right.
So there's tons of property destruction, which we've already talked about from John McClane. Is there any way at this point that you could actually just blame it on Hans? Like, yeah, John did it, but he did it because of you and your action. So it's actually your fault.
Yeah. I mean, specific, just to pull out the property damage. Yes. We brought up earlier, right? John dropping C4 down the elevator shaft. And I think the argument there, if I'm prosecuting Hans, is, well, didn't you expect there to be lots of explosions in your heist? Even if he tries to blame it on somebody else.
Right.
When he's carrying around that much C4, is it reasonable to think that maybe some of the C4 might end up going off somewhere else, somewhere along the line? So those would be the arguments the prosecutor would make. I think that the defense of him, they would have a hard time with some of the things that, or blaming him for everything that John McClane does. But he's in so much trouble for so many other things
that it kind of doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, if I was prosecuting it, why even waste time on the little stuff when you can just do kidnappings and terrorism and gun usage and all of those things to get him multiple life sentences?
Let's talk about the authorities or the cops in this movie.
Yeah.
Now, they are made out in this particular film. I think it's to really highlight the contrast of how great John is versus how inept, the LAPD or FBI, whoever it is.
Yeah.
I can't
well, it's both.
Right. The FBI comes right at a certain point.
Yeah.
I mean, so they say like 20-25% casualties.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah, generally that's acceptable.
I don't know if that was a joke or if they were being legitimate, but either way, if someone heard them say that, like, could you, I don't know, is there anything you can do about that? Or is that just like, oh, no, that's just what they believe and they're crappy people?
I mean, I think that there definitely are protocols that the general public does not get to be aware of surrounding kidnapping, hostage negotiation, and all of those sorts of things. The cold hard truth is that there are expectations that in that significant and that violent of a hostage scenario that there is going to be some loss of life. They are so cavalier about it, though, that if we had our CCTV footage being the movie and we were to hit play on all of that, those guys would be roasted. Now, also, this is late 80s, and it also highlights kind of the problems that were going on with both LAPD and cowboy FBI. It's very funny that the cowboy persona of John McClane is joked about, but it's really those FBI guys in the helicopter that are, this reminds me of flying into Saigon, and who are having too much fun storming the building.
Let's talk about that helicopter.
Yeah,
because that is wildly reckless.
Right.
I don't know what the legal angle is on that. I just almost want to point out, it's like, can they just do something that is that reckless?
I think our oversight now would call all of that into question. They're not going to be able to, recklessly fly helicopters in the middle of downtown it was Century City, but in the middle of Los Angeles, like that, with the disregard for human life and the safety of the civilians that were there on top of all that. So all of those things are problematic, and we get those people busted if it happened today, for sure.
All right, so Die Hard, but John McClane is not and Hans are not the only ones that get to do some violence here.
This is true.
Let's talk about my man, Al Powell.
Al Powell,
a.k.a. Carl Winslow in the Witness Protection Agency.
Yes.
Try to watch Family Matters now and not have that in your head. So he gets his great moment at the end where he finally pulls that shot off.
Yeah.
Justified?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
And it's so beautifully poetic. I'll remind our folks that are watching, we got to hear that he got pulled out of a lot of job assignments because he shot a kid and couldn't bring himself to pull his firearm. And so
maybe I have this backwards. Maybe he got so annoyed with Urkel, he accidentally shot him, and this is after Family Matters.
Oh my gosh. The kid that he accidentally shot was Urkel.
Steve, go home, go.
No.
Harriet, we got to move.
Let's go to LA. I'll be a cop. But no, I mean, he absolutely saves the day. Right. I mean, there's no question that I wish I could remember that character's name. I don't, but the bloody blonde German guy.
I like Bloody Blonde.
Bloody Blonde. It's kind of like how we ended up with Beef and Cheese Santa on our last episode. Yeah, I mean, he was about to take out everybody else, and they thought he was dead. And I mean, it's a brilliant way of wrapping up the movie.
Well, I mean, Argyle also hits someone with this car.
Oh yeah.
Again, probably didn't have to do that. There might have been another way, but
yeah. Again, I think the fear element that's going on is gonna defend Argyle.
I mean, I don't know. That one to me is less justifiable. Like Al Powell, like it is very clear. Argyle, I'm just like, you could have just done nothing,
right?
And been safe,
right?
But
he took out a bad guy.
I mean, it's narratively satisfying.
Oh, for sure.
But in a court of law, that's not the narrative.
No, and it's not. But I think
if they find that body,
right,
I'm sure eventually they will put two and two together that it was hit by a car,
right?
And the only car down there was Argyle's,
right?
Do you even if you were a prosecutor, would you given the whole situation, would you even bother with it at that point?
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
And I think we're still in the we're probably not legally clear on self-defense or defense of others, but there's so much going on at that point, and so much fear and so much danger going on at that point that even if we had somebody over aggressively prosecute Argyle, I would be able to defend him and get him off on that.
So the last thing it was narratively satisfying, pretty sure you can't do it, is when Holly just punches that reporter and
on camera.
Yeah, don't post your crimes
Right.
on TV. There was no online back then.
Right.
Don't broadcast your crimes on the news.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
she's good for assault. There's just no way around it.
Do you think they would press after all that? Do you think they would press charges?
No. I mean, because I do know some prosecutors that would probably have pressed charges against her.
Okay.
I know some prosecutors who love to prosecute every darn thing that they can possibly get their hands on. But she's got the best reason in the world. And as long as you go up the chain and talk to a more seasoned, more reasonable prosecutor, no one's going to hold her accountable for that. I mean, we got to remember that the reason why she punched him is because he gave information over the air that ended up putting her in mortal danger, as well as making things worse for John. So, it was very satisfying. It was totally illegal and totally defensible.
I have a little thing. We've never done this on the show.
Oh, okay.
Normally, like we do a speed round, and I do have some fan questions. We're going to get to these, but
Yeah.
I want to try something new.
All right.
It's the last episode of the year, or no, we're penultimate. We have one more.
Yeah.
Come back next week.
All of the crazy stuff happens in the penultimate episodes.
Yes. So let's try this.
Okay.
Scale of 0 to 10, the legal scale, 1 to 10.
Okay.
Legal scale.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the names of a main character, and you're going to say on a scale of 1 to 10 how illegal all their actions in this movie were.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
We're gonna
for those of you at home, like I did not know that this was going to happen.
I'm springing this on him last minute.
That's okay.
This is the illegality scale.
I love it.
All right, let's start with Argyle. Scale of 1 to 10. How illegal was Argyle in this movie?
Argyle is a 2.
Okay.
Yeah,
just like a
I'm
pinch.
I'm not going to say a 1 because
He did kill someone.
Yeah, he did squish that guy.
Okay.
But yeah.
Holly,
I'm going to put. I can't give Holly a 1 either because she's totally good for that punch. It's just so justified. But I'm probably gonna have to give her a 3 above Argyle.
he killed someone.
I know, but at least for
our justice system is broken.
I know, but for Argyle, like
Yes.
it was pretty close to a justifiable killing.
Pretty close? Pretty close?
ish, but Holly has zero legal justification for popping the reporter. So,
Okay.
I think Argyle is defensible. Holly's not, but it's a come on, guys argument for Holly.
Absolutely crazy. All right, let's go with my man, Mr. Al Powell.
Al Powell. I think he's at a -3.
Yeah, I agree.
He can do no wrong. I think his shot at the end is the only thing you can even argue would be an issue. Even though he seems to be caught up in the bureaucracy with the captain on the scene and with the FBI and all those things, there might be some policy blips that he did along the way, communicating with John McClane, but no, I mean he's flawless. -3.
Yeah, because his thing, like, even if he went against protocol, that seems more of an internal discipline than it is like a legal matter.
Yeah.
Speaking of, let's talk about those FBI cowboys.
I think that while most of the time, we give law enforcement just immunity, and it's very, very difficult to pierce that immunity for law enforcement. I think that they were so reckless and so callous about the hostage situation. And they caused so much more property damage, put everybody in danger, all of those things. I really think that where presumptively they would be at a 0, I think we're gonna move them up there to 2 or 3 range, something along those lines.
All right, let's talk about our bloody Bond buddy.
He's good for everything. I mean, he even disobeys Hans. I mean,
if anything, that's got to get. Is that a point off or a point added?
He goes for more violence. So and vandalism for flipping over the desk.
Yeah.
I mean, once he learns his brother died. I mean, he's got to be Okay, I have to leave some room for Hans because I know you're going to ask about him. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna say like a 9.
Okay, so Hans
10. I mean, I gotta give Hans slightly more because he's the mastermind behind the entire situation.
Just from what we've talked about, how many life sentences have?
He's like at 800 years to life. So I mean, it's. And I just pulled that number out of my head.
No parole.
So no. He's not breathing free air again.
What kind of? He's not going to the nice prison.
No. He's going to maximum security, supermax, really bad stuff. And depending on jurisdictionally what ends up happening, if the feds really do take it over and it's federal charges on top, rather than local California, Los Angeles charges, we can just he's gone forever.
Did they ever say where he's from? I can't remember.
Everyone was talking in German.
I'm just saying,
I don't know for sure if he. I made the assumption that he was from Germany. I'm trying to remember in his list of demands if he disclosed something.
But it doesn't matter. Like, once he's captured by the FBI, they're not letting anyone take him back, right?
No.
Okay.
No, they're not.
All right. John McClane. Scale 1 to 10 on the illegal action
scale. So on the illegal action scale, I mean, him shooting up Al's car as he's continuing to floor it in reverse, causing him to, I don't know what that was, like some sort of an embankment or something that he goes off and has to crawl out of the car, and dropping the C4, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff that he does that if it was hyper analyzed by his superiors, he would get in all kinds of trouble for, because unfortunately that's what happens when big stuff goes down, like we see in Die Hard, is that, in the debriefing afterward, sometimes it's, hey, you saved all of these hostages, good on you. But there are people who are going to be asking, well, did you need to, empty 5 clips into poor Al's car?
I think he got it after one.
Yeah. I mean, 1 or 2 shots would have communicated the message. 2 shots so that for sure that no, this isn't just a rock hitting the windshield.
Teenage John McClane outside his girlfriend's window. You up?
I believe if I was defending John, I would be able to argue why everything he did was justified, and I think that he would not be found criminally liable for anything. He might be administratively, slapped on the wrist a bit, for not handling it the way the Monday morning quarterbacks would have thought perfectly that he should have. But if we're just answering the question from the legality standpoint, he's probably like 4 or 5. I mean,
right in the middle there.
Yeah, because I mean, all of the bullets plus the C4, those are the 2 things that I'm really latching on to that are the hardest to defend.
All right, let's get some fan questions in. I really love this question because this is actually something that just interesting to know in general. This one is from Michael. Does the holiday, Christmas or whatever, affect police staffing, response times? How does the holiday affect, like, I guess, like, if you get arrested on Christmas Eve, are you just you're sitting in that jail until what? You're certainly not going home, right?
Well, there's a couple of different ways to answer this. The first is, well, this of course presumes that this is a Christmas movie.
No, it doesn't. But continue. This has nothing to do with it. But continue.
So a couple of different aspects. So the staffing issue. Families that have loved ones who are in law enforcement know that the holidays need to be heavily staffed. Unfortunately, the phone calls that we get during the holidays from my criminal defense law firm, we get a huge amount of calls during the holidays with people drinking alcohol, making bad decisions, getting in arguments, getting in fights, company office parties, fights at office parties, husbands and wives, partners, arguing over the stress of the holidays and making bad decisions. So law enforcement doesn't really get to rest during the holidays. So the staffing during the holidays is generally not an issue. And my friends who are in law enforcement just factor that in. Maybe if they celebrate Christmas, maybe they're not celebrating Christmas the same time that I would celebrate Christmas.
Right.
Maybe they do it the day before, the day after, or instead of Christmas morning, it's the morning of the 27th or whatever.
Because I think the context of this question, if I am inferring correctly, was kind of like, there's a huge police presence and everything. It's like, would they actually be on call and available if it's Christmas Eve?
And they would.
Okay.
And especially for an emergency, they would call everybody in. You would see that level of response. I mean, that was one of the things that was really accurate. And then another part of what you just mentioned, the aspect of being taken into custody around the holidays. Generally speaking, the rule is that within 2 business days, 2 court days, you have a right to be taken in front of a judge. Because it's court days, you get taken in a day or 2 before a holiday or before a weekend. You're not out in 2 days. You're out in 2 court days. So if there's a holiday where on a Friday, or like a Monday holiday, like over Memorial Day weekend, for some reason it seems like a lot of my clients get arrested right before a holiday weekend, because then they're in for like 5 days.
Yeah,
and that just is how our system here in California works. And during the holidays like that, somebody who gets arrested right before the Christmas holiday, the New Year's holiday, they are in custody for longer periods of time.
All right, this question is from Alyssa, and this was kind of this is kind of following up on something that I was asking about. Could the Nakatomi Corporation sue the city, LA, for the damage caused by the FBI's helicopter assault? Remember, I was saying, I was like, could Hans be responsible for damage? Because I'm sure at some point Nakatomi or their insurance is going to be like, well, we got to go after somebody here. So is this, if you're saying it's probably not Hans because he's got enough problems, could they go after the city or the FBI or whoever was part of the decision of that?
Well, the process of suing a governmental agency is really complicated, and you have to prove a really high standard of just a complete, total, reckless disregard. And what we see from the FBI guys seems to rise to that level of a reckless disregard. But then when you layer in them blowing the roof, you layer in all of those other aspects of damage caused by the terrorists, caused by the bad guys. You would really have to be able to articulate, justify, and prove that they had no rational basis for what they were doing. I don't know that you could really get there. And so I would think that Nakatomi's insurance policy would probably not spend the time going after the city for those sorts of things, or going after the federal government, or going after the FBI for that damage. They could put it in a claim. There could be some back and forth, but that's going to be a huge uphill battle.
Let me do kind of an add-on to that question, because Ethan asked, could the hostages sue the LAPD for ignoring McClane's early warnings over the radio? Like, could this basically saying, like, could this have been somewhat avoided earlier,
Right. Well, I disagree that it could have been avoided earlier. Hans had contingencies in place for every single step as he was coming into the building. And in fact, the police presence happened earlier than he had wanted or expected, and he was ready to go for that. Also, no, they're not going to be successful suing the police for failing to respond earlier, for the same reasons that I was talking about before, for the property damage. Because while it's frustrating from the audience's standpoint, we're designed, we're meant to be frustrated by the 911 operator who was telling him to get off the line, and all of those aspects of things. But they believed it was pranks. Is it completely unreasonable? No. There was a false alarm, from their perspective again, at the same place, or are they just messing around? We certainly, as an audience, believe that it shouldn't have taken John McClane emptying 5 clips into poor Al's squad car after dropping a body on it to get their attention, but they're also being extra cautious. So.
It's also like this is that point where, like, you have to also think, like, in real life, maybe, but in a movie, it would be a 20-minute movie, right?
Right, exactly. Exactly.
It's like you almost have to, like, break some rules in order for there to be a 90-minute movie or whatever it is,
Yeah.
Okay, this question is really, I'm so sorry. That's a really dumb question, but it kind of made me laugh, so I'm going to ask it. I won't say the name because, like, I don't want to make fun of you, but when McClane's barefoot injuries impact his ability to stand trial, I don't think you actually stand.
Oh, man.
So go ahead.
Stand trial.
I can't stand trial because my feet really hurt, Your Honor.
That is a stupid question, and
We love
normally
you.
I
You
would
know
say
who
that
you
there
are,
are no stupid questions, but no is my answer. But that was pretty funny. That got me good.
Okay. All right. This last one. This is interesting. I think this is a good button on everything. This one is from Sabrina. She says, if McClane hadn't been a cop, was just a visitor, would his actions legally be treated differently?
Great question. And generally, the answer is no. Okay. Because he's not acting in an official duty. Where it would come in less from a legal standpoint and more from the Monday morning quarterback standpoint, he knows more about the law. He knows more about tactics. He knows more because of his training than I do,
right,
as a civilian. So he is going to be held to a higher standard just when they're looking at the reasonableness of everything. I as a dumb civilian, not a dumb civilian, but I as
not with that Cal State Fullerton degree.
and the other one, and the other one, and the Pepperdine one. But as a regular citizen without full law enforcement training, I'm not.
Continue. Continue.
As a regular citizen without law enforcement training, I'm not going to be held to the same standard of I should have known better that John McClane's going to be held to. We broke you at some point.
I'm sorry, I'm not dumb. I'm just, PhD, professor. I do all this other, but whatever.
I only teach adjunct professor. Well, as an adjunct professor, I only teach police practices at Pepperdine Law School. So,
just like in your spare time.
Just
for funsies.
Yeah, just for funsies.
All right. Well, look, we are never going to fall on the same side of the line of the Christmas movie or not a Christmas movie.
True.
But I think Die Hard is a movie that, would you agree that you can enjoy it year round regardless?
Absolutely.
Okay.
No, you certainly can. And I think that speaks to the power of and the significance of this as a movie. It's a great police procedural, it's a great heist movie, it's a great action movie, and it introduces the concept of more of an everyman rather than the action stars that we saw before. So I think it really stands up, and I will let you have your July movie, and I will enjoy it as a Christmas movie every year.
I'm just surprised that you can relate to the everyman since you have a doctorate, you have degrees, you're an adjunct professor.
Right. Well, you look at Bruce. And I can also almost pass for Bruce Willis in his older years. So
let me ask you real quick. What's there's 5 of them? What's your favorite Die Hard?
It's got to be the first one.
Yeah.
But I kind of liked Die Hard with a Vengeance. I kind of liked the addition of Sam Jackson into the mix. I liked the two of them. I think my least favorite is probably the second one.
I think that my least favorite by a country mile is whatever the hell that last one was with his son.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so bad.
Yeah.
But I really liked the one with Justin Long. I thought that one was really good.
Yeah. No, I agree. It was.
There's a Die Hard for everybody.
Right. Yes.
But if you like to listen hard, we have tons of episodes on our YouTube channel, also Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your podcasts. We have one more episode to go before the end of the year. Mm-hmm. And oh, baby, is it a doozy.
I can't wait for Rudolph.
Oh, the red.
Rudolph with a vengeance.
It's a good day to die, Rudolph. I don't know. Live long and Rudolph. We will see you guys next week for the 2025 season finale of Doug Ridley.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, mother...